So I was going to finish my Sanctuary vault build. If you're not familiar with that, I built this pre-war Sanctuary in the Vault 88 cavern, and the last thing that I had to do was decorate the atrium that I built above it. But none of my saves have the atrium in it. It's like it just vanished, as if it never existed. But I know that it did because I have a video on it. So yeah, I don't know. I lost the saves that had the atrium in it. So instead of rebuilding like all of that, I just decided to finish my safe house. So that's what I did. It came out really cool, so it's fine. I didn't want to decorate the atrium anyway. So, whatever. I'm fine. Alright, I finished up my safe house in Diamond City. Well, on top of Diamond City, rather. If you haven't seen my first video on this where I show exactly where I am and how I built some of this, the link to it will be in the description. So I built this container and put all this mess in here to make it look like, you know, maybe there's not a hidden door right here, you know? Maybe it's just a normal wall. But once you get past that, this is the last line of defense. So I was trying to make it look very eerie and just, you know, you should probably get the hell out of here kind of vibes. That's kind of what I was going for. And I wanted this terminal to power this door with a password, but I didn't want to go look for a mod that lets me do that. So basically this terminal just turns on the switch that powers the door, but just pretend that there was a password and then the door opens. Yeah, I love this door. It gets me every time. So this is my Minutemen Safehouse. I didn't explain that in the last video. This is for the Minutemen, which is a big surprise, right? I always do something for the Minutemen. But anyways, I don't want to say that this is the bar restaurant. I know this is what it looks like, but it's mainly like an area of refuge because this is like their hangout, chill spot and where most of their food is. I do have some storage containers elsewhere, but this is mainly where all their food is. And I know it doesn't look like a lot of food, but I didn't want to keep packing these shelves full of food because the frame rate, you can see it's already kind of choppy, you know? So imagine there's a ton of food right here. And I changed the bar a good bit too because it was this straight counter that faced the door. Now it contours to the wall and the corner. And I only changed it just so I could say the word contours in a video. And one of my favorite things in here is this big monument to the Minutemen. I think it works perfectly on this wall. I found it in the mod Gruffy DD Signs and Posters. Now someone commented in my videos a while back saying that Gruffy DD is actually pronounced Griffith. And I don't really believe them, but I do at the same time. I know that I'm saying it wrong, but it's been 3 years, so I'm just gonna keep saying Gruffy DDs because it's just fun to say. I also got this castle sign from that same mod too, and I put this in here because you know, I built the Raider castle where the Raiders took over the Minutemen's castle. So I'm keeping that same theme to where the Minutemen are stuck here now until they can reclaim the castle. But I really like the way that this whole thing came out. And, you know, it's a lot of fun to do. I love putting those signs up there. It was like the perfect spot to have all those like mess of signs. And there was a purpose for each one. So like this area that it leads to is the garage workshop area. So the signs on that same wall say like, you know, small engine repair, hardware, stuff like that. And this leads to the residential side. That's why it says for rent and Hotel Rexford. So I kept the signs matching whatever is on the other side of the walls. So in here is the living area. And it's not amazing by any means because I was trying to keep it, you know, I wanted to have a bunch of bunk beds in here so it could fit more people. But I also wanted to keep it like, you know, this is like a shelter area, so it's not too luxurious or whatever, but they're trying. You know, they're trying their best to keep it cozy and homey or whatever. But check out their bathroom. Okay, it's actually pretty nice. Now, normally in these builds, I spend way too long showing off a pretty simple, basic bathroom, and that's just my way of getting back at you guys for giving me shit anytime I forget to build a bathroom. So it's like this constant battle that we have, and I love it. But this time, I actually really enjoy this bathroom. There's a window. The blue looks awesome with the brick. I just love the way that it looks. And this is your fault, by the way. Like, I blame you guys. You created this bathroom-loving monster because now I care way too much about where these people are going to drop a deuce. Now, on the other side of the safe house is like the workshop garage area, and not everybody is welcome back here because this is where, you know, a lot of the stuff is, like the power armor and all the workbenches and all of that. So, got the workbenches right here. Got some scraps and really just robot scraps on this side over here, and then everything else is on that back wall. Now, as with most of my builds, I wanted this area to look very lived in and look like something that could have already been here. And I think what really helps with that, and I always forget about doing this, is using a mod that gives you debris that you can place down on the floor. Like you see in the corners back here, I have like all this stone and rubble and just like kind of decals on the floor. I place all those down, like individually. It's kind of a pain in the ass, but it makes it look great. So if you have access to a mod that gives you these kind of pieces, like I'm on PC and I use a mod called Just Debris, I highly recommend using it. So the scaffoldings I turned into guard posts. I didn't do too much up here, but I did place down at least some, you know, like some sort of defenses, and I made the fences a little bit lower so that way they can see over pretty well. And if there's some kind of break-in or some stuff goes down and they need backup ammunition, I got some over here. Nothing too crazy. Now you can get to the med bay from the scaffolding, but I want to go this way because I think it looks cooler. Yeah, I don't know why, but I just love the way that this came out. I'm just like patting myself on the back through this whole build, but I just love the way that it looks. I think it's the lighting. Yeah, I think that's what it is. These give you like a shadow lighting, so it kind of does mess with your frame rate, but it looks so good. And that's another thing. If you want to improve the look of your builds, use a light source that casts shadows. It will instantly look so much better, and your frame rate will instantly start to hate you. So over here is another way to get up onto the guard post, like the scaffolding up here. And it connects all the way to the garage and the workshop area. And then this door leads into the residential area. So everywhere you are, if there's a break-in or whatever, you're not trapped there. There are ways to get around. Now over here is the most like restrictive area. So you have to have some sort of clearance to hit this button and activate the door. In the last video, I asked you all for ideas for what I should do down in this little room. And there's so many people said the same thing. It's hard to give just one shout out, but thank you all for your suggestions. I used the majority of them. So like most of you said that I should do an armory. And so I made half of this over here to the right, an armory. And I went a little overboard with the shelves and everything. It was, I really wanted to pack this room full of stuff. I've never done this before with the armories. Normally it's just like a few things here and there, but I really wanted to go like kind of crazy with all the stuff. So all the boxes, all the ammo, this is like food and water and supplies. And I love these built-in shelves. That was a lot of fun to do. This whole area was just really cool because I let myself like use as much resources as I could. And a few of you suggested that I should do some sort of like communications room or like surveillance room, and that's what this whole area is. I love designing these kind of rooms, man. It's just like all the equipment and everything that might be in here and all the little quirky stuff, like I got a little bobblehead over into the corner, things like that. You know, I just like to kind of give these rooms a little bit more character. And these monitors are from the Institute, so they have this white casing and these bright blue lights on the top and the bottom. So I use these cross beams and posts from the warehouse tab to cover them up so you just see the monitors. And the last room is also a suggestion from you guys. It was to have a bunker for the general. So this is basically like my player home, my character's player home. And yeah, it's a small, this cozy little room for the general. And I think it looks great. And every build of mine, I always have some sort of player home for myself. So this kind of worked out pretty well. And it's just a small, like cozy little room. I wanted to do like a secret door and all this stuff in here, but the frame rate on this is already dropping too much, so I just kind of kept it simple and just clean. But let me know what you guys think of this build in the comments. You know, like what was your favorite part? What could I have done differently? And this was the July build challenge that I'm doing for my Discord server. So if you want to join in on the challenge, you still have another week to submit a build. The winners of the challenge will be featured in a video at the beginning of next month. So check out the link to my Discord server in the description to join in.